The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Big day in the markets, Liberation Day. We're going to be liberated, folks. 4 p.m. Eastern Time in the Rose Garden. The problem is nobody knows how just yet. The market, uncertainty. You talk about it. We kick things off in red territory. S&P's off by about 1% this morning, trading off 54 points at 56.20 right now. NASDAQ 100. You're off 243 points, 1.23% in the red, trading at 19,362. You get the Dow off by 293 points, 0.7% in the red, 41,948, and the Russell off by 1.2%, 2,002 on the Russell. We jump down to commodities. Crude backing off from the high area of about 72.10, and it is remarkable. You put it on your chart, folks. Crude oil, it's about a $5 range that this thing trades in. So you're looking at almost 72.50 was the upside here. You hit 72.10, I believe. Yes, 72.10 was the high yesterday. Crude looks to have rolled over yet again. We'll see if we get some follow through. We're trading at $70.92 in crude. Gold not stopping. Now, we pulled back yesterday from the highs, okay? But boy, you talk about it, right? This is a daily. Just remarkable strength across the board on a daily basis. Gold trading at 31.62 right now. We have yields continuing to drop. As we get a flight to safety, there is a flock to yields going on right now, hiding from equities. Can't blame them with the type of uncertainty going on right now. We got the 10-year. I was right in Market Insights. It was trading at 4.13 this morning. And yeah, we're already approaching 4.12 right now. 4.12, and you got to look, where are we? We're talking about levels you haven't seen since October on the 10-year. Double-edged sword in terms of, yes, yields are going down. That's going to help the cost of capital, whether it's mortgages, loans, anything like that. The other side of that is, why are yields going down? I always had the conversation with people. I said, mortgages aren't going back to 3.5%, 4%. I said, and you probably don't want them to go back to 3.5% to 4%, because if we get mortgages and rates at 3.5% to 4%, that means the economy is in huge trouble. So square those two parts of the conversation, because you're going to hear that rates are coming down. That will help the housing market to a degree. But we'll see where we go. Careful what you ask for sometimes, is what they say. Nonetheless, the 10-year, 4.12 we're approaching right now on that 10-year. Jump over to the dollar. And the dollar holding on to 104, backing off a bit. We're basically at 104 on the dot, 103.997 right now on that dollar. We jump over to the VIX this morning. We pair things yesterday. We're bouncing again, 2341 in that volatility index currently right now. You go over to Bitcoin, chopping around about 85,000, 85,225 for Bitcoin. All right, you jump over to Tesla shares. So Tesla, they got their deliveries coming out this morning, and you drop $10. We're going to see some volatility. Already it bounced. You hit 254, and that number just hit in the press. As I talk right now, 336,000 vehicles is the number in the first quarter for deliveries. Yeah, deliveries and production. So they produce 362,000 cars. They deliver 336. Investors were expecting Tesla to report deliveries between 360 and 370,000. I mean, if this was any other company run by any other person, folks, besides the richest man in the world with a seat next to the president, the numbers on this equity would be having this stock perform even worse. Okay? You go back to a weekly, and the numbers for Tesla have worsened dramatically since the election. Okay? It looks stark because of the give back from the run up to 488, but I encourage you to think about that this equity traded at prices below where we're at right now for the entirety of 2024, outside of when Trump won the election. Okay? Tesla shares, again, traded below where we're at right now, at least as the close yesterday, because we had a high out there in July of what? 271, so barely. And you had a spike high just under where we're at right now. So the numbers continue to disappoint on Tesla. Not surprised that's the case. We'll see how we trade today on Tesla shares, but you're going to kick things off with deliveries slightly below what the market was expecting. And yeah, I mean, you look at where you were a year ago on Tesla. Okay, a year ago, folks, right? Just look at these numbers. Do I still have it up? Yeah, let me pull this one up. Okay, a year ago, they delivered 386,000 cars. They just dropped 15% in deliveries. This is supposed to be a growth company. It's amazing how they can be declining in numbers as you have growth company PEs simply on the story that Elon tells. And that story might come to fruition, but it's just a story, folks. And sometimes those multiples, the multiple compression on stories, sometimes we're seeing it take place right now on Tesla. Yeah, so they delivered 336,000 cars. A year ago, they delivered 50,000 more, 386,000 vehicles, almost a 15% decrease on that number. Whew. Yeah, it's all Model 3 and Model Y. Cybertruck gets a lot of love, but other models, besides the Model 3 and the Model Y, yeah, you're only talking about 12,000 vehicles. The Model 3 and the Model Y, 323,000 of it all. All right, what else we got going on? We got ADP private payrolls this morning. Here we go. That number comes in a little bit strong. 155,000 jobs added. The market was looking for about 122. On the wages side, 4.6% year over year is what the rate wages went up. 6.5% if you change jobs. So it is remarkable. You always hear, right? I'm not keeping up. I'm not keeping up. I'm not keeping up. It's amazing sometimes, I'll tell you, in poker and in trading, okay? The mind tends to, for whatever reason, okay, we remember the losses more than we remember the gains, right? We remember the price hikes more than we remember the raises that we receive. It's this selective memory that occurs sometimes, and it is remarkable how much people's earnings have grown over the last 5 years. You see the price hikes. Okay, we see the price of eggs, etc. They make headlines. But you're talking about magnificent numbers, man. Wages are up almost 5% from where they were in April of 2024. Folks, they're big numbers on the wage side, and it's not stopping. Yeah. So we get non-farm payrolls on Friday, but nonetheless, the economy marches on. 155,000 private payrolls for the month of March now. I wonder when government numbers are going to start coming in, because that's private payrolls. When's the non-farm payroll going to start to get a little volatility? When you talk about the government, they get in there as well, right? All right. And, you know, what is shaping up today on a daily basis? It would be pretty remarkable if we get it. Not surprising, but remarkable. As we could really have a rip-roaring candle here. You get like a bearish engulfing. You take out the last 2 days that we did in this market. You could do it today. Boy, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see the buying and the action ahead of that Rose Garden announcement at 4 o'clock. Who's buying at 355? Who's selling at 355? We're going to find out today. We got a lot of show first to cover. Stay tuned, folks. Coming right back. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC. All right, folks, we're trading right now down about 1% on the S&Ps. NASDAQ 100 down about 1.25%. You got the Dow off 300 points, or about 0.7%, and then the Russell off by 1.3%. So you jump around 4 p.m. Eastern time in the Rose Garden, though we go over it continually in terms of tariffs or taxes. So you're going to get a tax announcement today at 4 o'clock, okay? You got an article today from the Journal. This is an opinion piece. Again, Republicans for higher tax rates. And this is talking about that even the one big beautiful bill that they're talking about here, okay, what Republicans have been saying is, hey, guess what? We're going to bring the tariffs, but don't worry, because we're going to have a big, beautiful pro-growth tax cut that's going to ride to the rescue. Well, guess what? That one might not even come to fruition. Surprise, surprise, folks, okay? Well, maybe not, as some Republicans are now floating the idea of raising corporate and individual income tax rates as part of their one big, beautiful bill. It is remarkable, folks. That rate hikes are now possible shows how confused today's GOP is about economics. This is an opinion piece, okay? But they're making a lot of reason, folks, all right? It's bizarre enough that the Trump administration is selling tariffs as tax cuts. I don't know how it makes sense, but when you have an army of constituents that'll back you up regardless, and that's what's going on right now, okay? I mean, introducing the fact that tariffs are somehow tax cuts into the lexicon is a remarkable statement of bizarre world, okay? You're getting this announcement at 4 p.m. today. So it also makes no sense that the party's putting tariffs first while delaying the tax bill for months. But if rate hikes are in the bill, it will also mean the party has lost the plot about the pro-growth rationale for tax reform. And what they talk about, they go on, the tax code is to raise money for the government with the least damage to economic growth, and ideally that means a low tax rate on a broad tax base, okay? We're going to get it all today. And if you tell me that tax hikes are now in play in the one big beautiful bill, what is going on with this market, folks? Now, you go from there, okay? You disagree on policy, I get it, right? You disagree that maybe in the long term, it's the best for the country, okay? You want to make some big changes. I don't know how everything's going to get made in the U.S., folks. We're not going to have American citizens all over the place in factories. Technology is one thing. That's a reasonable argument, okay? So what happens is that the level of uncertainty is what astounds me across the board. If you're a true believer, okay, then what the heck is taking so long to figure out the plan? That should scare you, because it scares me. They don't even know what the plan is going to be yet, and they have an announcement at 4 o'clock. Folks, first of all, Trump has now known he's going to be president for 5 months, right? Yeah, 5 months about. From Election Day. He's been president for 2.5 months. He has an announcement in the Rose Garden of tariffs. They're going to, supposedly supposed to change the dynamics of basically international business across the board from the leading, consumer in the world, America. And they don't even have the details yet. The market cannot stand uncertainty, folks, okay? It cannot stand uncertainty. In meetings Tuesday, Trump's team continued to hash out their options ahead of the announcement. What's going on, okay? On Wednesday, that's today, folks, people familiar with the ongoing discussion said, that they're going to talk on 4 p.m. on Wednesday. The White House has not reached a firm decision. They don't even know what's going on, folks, but guess what? You're going to find out at 4 o'clock today what they decide on. And there's nothing wrong with a deadline, okay? There's nothing like a deadline to get you motivated to get things done. Sometimes the amount that you can accomplish leading up to that deadline is more than happens at any other time. I remember one time, side story, we're at one of the money shows. My dad is interviewing Steve Forbes, okay, Forbes magazine. And my dad asked him, great question, you're so successful, right? You have this amazing news organization, Forbes, this amazing magazine. What gets you out of bed, right? What gets you motivated on a daily basis when you've already achieved so much? And he literally said, see what he goes, deadlines. I got to have deadlines. You put deadlines on something, it gets done. Side story. But I don't think this is how something so monumental like a tariff should be, in terms of basically just, shooting from the hip, sitting around a room, saying, what do you think? What do you think? I don't know. We got an interview at 4 o'clock with the world. We got to decide. We're going to find out, folks. We'll see where we go. Several proposals under consideration. You might have flat rates for countries as well as a more customized reciprocal plan under the first option. You're going to see levies at either 10 or 20%, depending on their tariff rate on U.S. goods. But and then you could, jump around that they're still considering a 20%, flat rate across the board. The level of uncertainty, okay, no matter what gets announced tonight, the level of uncertainty is what is so difficult because of the long-term nature of the planning. That's what I can't get my head around. That's why I wish these conversations, and I keep harping on how it's nonsense. You talk about tariffs or tax cuts, they're pro-growth, all this stuff, right? Nonsense, period. End of story. You want to make some big fundamental changes? Trump has the time. He's got 4 years as president. He makes substantial changes right now that are in place for 4 years. I don't think that those companies would wait to see what the next election looks like, right? Maybe you get a reversal. Maybe you get a Democrat. Maybe you even get a Republican who agrees with the Wall Street Journal editorial page, right, that says, you know what, folks, tariffs aren't actually tax cuts. You could get a Republican that even reverses this, okay? But companies wouldn't wait if they knew right now the hardline nature. Trump could make the case that, you know what, we're going to put it in line. They're going to have 4 years. They can build their factories. They can do whatever they need to do. It might be a tough 2 or 3 years, but you're going to remember me forever in history. You could make that case. That case is not being made. There's no level of certainty whatsoever. And how do you make capital expenditure investments for broad changes under that environment? I don't know. Very difficult to imagine how you make those broad types of changes with this level of uncertainty creeping forward. And you're going to get some bounces in this market, man. Okay, this is a two-way market. When you have this type of volatility, the swings in both directions are going to be magnificent. We're seeing it play out, but today's going to be a big day, man. Interesting. Next couple days this week on a weekly basis. Okay, you go back to the weekly bars. Look at this weekly bar. That doesn't scream strength at all. All right? You look at this chart in a vacuum, you're saying downtown, man. Okay, we're testing the lows. S&Ps, you got lows out there about 100 points below where we're at right now, 55.09. But boy, we barely got a green weekly bar. You're talking about a bar that opened at 55.90 on the S&Ps, and we got 2 days of action coming at you. Liberation Day, folks, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're all going to find out at the same time what the plan is because they don't even know yet. I wish I could have more optimism, okay? It sounds like I'm harping a lot. Nothing is political. These are the facts. They're not alternative facts, okay? They don't even have a plan yet, and that's okay. But boy, put yourself in the market's position. They don't even have a plan yet. Even if we get an announcement at 4 p.m., we all now know presidents are going to be talking to Trump, right, of other countries. Negotiations are in play. Everything is fluid. We're coming back for the open, folks. Market digesting tariff news, digesting ADP payrolls. We're coming back.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are March 14th and 28th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's off by about 60. NASDAQ 100 off by almost 260. We start the session in the red, and yeah, we'll see where we go today. Ahead of a 4 p.m. announcement. Pretty interesting, right? Even the market, nobody knows what's going to be said because even the people doing the talking, even the president, probably hasn't figured out all the details. Maybe they hashed it out last night, but boy, you talk about waiting until the last minute for details that could change everything. Markets pick things up in the red. All right, let's jump over to Tesla. Digesting their miss, down to 252. Yeah, watch out, folks. You know, sometimes you get blinded by, recent prices. But what I find myself saying is, you're trading at prices you came in that we hadn't traded in all of last year. It's remarkable. Okay, there's still room to the downside, folks. All right, you were trading at 138 less than a year ago in Tesla. You were trading at $138 less than a year ago in Tesla. If anything, the numbers have gotten worse over that time, not better. Now, Elon has quite a position of power, but that's not going to change the numbers in terms of first quarter deliveries and everything going with Tesla. So be careful of catching that fallen knife on Tesla shares, down 6.2%. We jump around to the other magnificent seven, Amazon shares. Yeah, tough go around continues, man. Amazon on a weekly, $188.99. Let's go back to a daily right now. Yeah, we're trading down another 1.8% for Amazon shares. Apple's been relatively strong, but negative by 0.7% today. Walmart has been very strong. They're not a magnificent seven, but yeah, holding up flat today again. People rushing to Walmart for a little safety right now. We jump over with some other tech stocks. Google shares down about 1% right now. NVIDIA off by 2.7%. Pretty remarkable, right? You're down almost $50 from where we were trading to start the year. We're at 107. We jump around to some other chip stocks. AMD off 1.6%. Intel shares off by about 0.9%. Let's check out those airlines. Yeah, it's not stopping, man. The airlines. Delta down about 0.7%. These things remarkable. United down another percentage point. JetBlue even, man. Look at this one, right? You traded to $4.44 yesterday. Whew. We're trading at $8. Man, 6 weeks ago, we're almost at $8. JetBlue trades to $4.44. Remarkable. We jump back to yields. Yeah, it's not stopping. We're probably at 4.12 right now. Where are we? Come on, computer, keep up. Yeah, 4.12, the yield on the 10-year. As I said, we're coming right up to the highest in price. 112.01 was the spike high from March 4th, and we're right at that price level. So you break above there, you might see yields continuing to drop. You jump over the dollar. We're below 104 on a little bit of yield weakness, and you jump over to that gold contract right now, and gold trading at 31.63. We jump over to silver. Just to continuing to underperform. Silver just hits the ceiling at $35 right now. We're trading at 34.60. We jump over to copper. Whoops, HG, the futures for copper. Chopping around near $5, 5.05. You take a look at some of these copper stocks I talked about earlier in the week. It looks like copper may have peaked, man. Copper up 2 pennies today, but we're off the highs of 5.37, made on the 26th of March. And two copper stocks come to mind. FCX, talk about a weak stock, man. 37.85, and Southern Copper as well. Yeah, vastly underperforming some of the metals. Southern Copper down about 0.3% right now. All right, market finds a little bit of a bid. We'll see how we go into the trading day. 56.30 is the number right now. Putting it on a 5-minute. Yeah, we catch a little bit of a pop. Market just popped 20 points. All right, supply and demand. We're going to find out where we go from here. All right, what else we got? Let's talk about Meta. Meta shares down by 1%. You catch a little bit of a bid. Things were looking a little rougher. Pulling back from 740 to almost 550. Okay, you talk about a pullback, man. These equities, even Meta, which is remarkably strong, the volatility across the board. But this article is interesting. So Meta, they're going to be rolling out, and they've had these plans. This is an article from January 21st originally, saying they're exploring Oakley branded glasses, more watches, more earbuds, okay? Now, this time, they were talking about the first, in January, they were talking about the first augmented reality glasses dubbed Artemis are planned for 2027. But you fast forward to what we're talking about right now, their upcoming $1,000 plus smart glasses with a screen, okay, as early as the end of this year. Yeah, they're ramping up work on a deluxe version of its popular smart glasses. Plans to include hand gesture controls and a screen for displaying photos and apps. About $1,000 to $1,400. It would make sense if you can sell those glasses at the same price that you're selling an iPhone for. Now, right now, okay, they sell Ray-Ban Meta glasses at $299 in Target. I've tried them out. They're pretty cool. If you've never tried them out, give them a try next time you're in Target, okay? And these are much less than what they're talking about, though, but it is interesting. You put on the glasses. They have a built-in camera. They have built-in speakers that you can play music that only you can kind of hear. You can take pictures. You can take videos. Folks, assume everywhere you are in public there's a video camera. I tell the kids, can you imagine growing up nowadays? Everywhere there's a camera, and it's going to be on people's heads coming, okay? But it is remarkable. I tried it on and said, these are pretty cool. And I think Meta's, they're on to something, folks. They are. This is the next logical step. You know, yeah, there's going to be a significant price increase, but what they're going to do is they're going to add augmented reality in there, okay? They're going to add higher-end models. They have a second generation of the product. They're going to start going out to different brands like Luxottica. They're going to have an Oakley brand that's going to be out there as well. Once the device is on, the user will see a home screen, right? Similar to the app dock on an Apple device. Yeah, you got apps for taking pictures, viewing photos, viewing maps, notifications. I tell you, folks, when I first got the iWatch, I love the iWatch. Okay, and I still have the same watch from 4 or 5 years ago. It blew me away in terms of what you could do. And I think when people start adopting, you know, and yeah, it's not going to define Meta necessarily, but that is the future happening, folks. It is. And we'll see how quick or how long it takes to get here. But that is the future. Try out those glasses next time you're in Target if you get a chance. Those are Ray-Ban glasses currently, but it's even more intriguing to see that, guess what? Meta is going to be pushing out there, and this is probably going to happen with Google, everybody. I wonder if it's going to happen with Apple, right? Because Apple's got their own products. But you're telling me that Meta is going to be pushing out smart glasses that are Ray-Bans, Oakleys, Luxottica. That's pretty cool. All right, the market found a bid this morning, man. The day is young, 8 minutes into the trading session, but boy, we just popped by what, 40 points in the S&Ps? We're at 56.48 right now. S&P's off by 26. NASDAQ catches a bid. How about that one? And boy, you got a rejection like today. You know, here's what I'll say. The next 2 days are going to be important, okay? You know, you get a nice double bottom like that. Hey, technically, that's a double bottom, man. You're looking for a buy there. Okay, that's a sound technical symbol, technical formation. Nice double bottom. And boy, you ever get a mirror image, man, you're trading back to 22.1. Today's going to be important. We're going to get the news tonight. Is it going to be a buy the news, sell the rally? We'll see. I couldn't get it out. We're coming back, folks. Stay tuned.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day, Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's off by about 29 points, and we're going to get some volatility today. This is just the start of the action, man. People are going to get geared up. They're going to get where they want to be in their portfolios ahead of that announcement at 4 p.m. in the Rose Garden. And yeah, there's a lot in limbo when even those making the announcement seem to not quite those details, even when they're made, right? They can change at any time. So we will find out. Now, let's talk a little bit, of baseball and MIT. If you haven't seen this one, folks, remarkable. So the Yankees, of course, it's the Yankees, right? Why isn't anybody else pushing the limits here? And it's always amazing the type of technological breakthroughs that are achievable with small little changes that occasionally occur that change the game completely. I think about something like the high jump in the Olympics, right? Remember, for the longest time, people would just try and high jump over that bar as you or I normally would. You just jumping over forward, and then somebody finally said, no, the best way to do this is you actually jump backwards over your back, and it changed everything. How has nobody thought about the shape of a bat in forever when there's a simple, tiny change you can make? It just makes you think big picture, folks, okay? The fact that this is going on, if you're not familiar, basically what happened is they got a new style of bat. And whether it's actually legal by the rule book, we'll see if they make any changes, is up for debate. Because the rule book says it's supposed to be a smooth bat, which it is smooth. But what is the definition of smooth? Because someone means smooth would think that it doesn't have humps in it. Now this one has a more like a bowling pin design. But it is remarkable that you make this change. The Yankees can't stop hitting home runs right now. And you have this gentleman that's an MIT scientist, and he's 48 years old. And from all accords, this guy's brilliant. And it's always amazing. All you got to, a lot of people really struggle to change. They say it's legal. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting that it took this long to make that change, right? You think about the billions that are at play in baseball, and nobody questions the norm. This isn't about the market. It's just big picture, right? Don't be afraid of questioning the norm, man. You see it happen all the time from monumental changes. And yeah. And what it is you got a wood budget, basically, is how he puts it, okay? And what he basically did is he just moved the sweet spot of the bat to where most batters are hitting, which is a little bit further towards the grip. Now, this guy is brilliant, man. They went over how... Let's see. Yeah, he's a baseball phenom as well, okay? But they talk about his teachers at MIT, saying he's one of the, let's see. Yeah, he's a bright guy. And I just want to touch on it because this guy was hitting .464. He played in the All-Star game of a local amateur baseball league. Okay, he played in the 2001 All-Star game at a minor league stadium in Lowell. Yeah, and when he was at MIT, he was part of a research team that cooled sodium gas to the lowest temperature ever recorded in human history. So Yeah, he earned his doctorate, but he would leave academia to pursue a higher calling, the solution to a complex century-old physics problem of how you hit a round ball with a wooden bat. And yeah, there's the rule. The bats must be smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. What I find myself saying is just an encouragement to think outside the box, right? How do teams spend literally almost billions of dollars on their team salaries, and nobody says, hey, can we get some bright guy or girl to look at the rule book and think about if we're accessing the best technology per the rule book, right? And yeah. And now everyone's using it after the Yankees, yeah. There you go. So that's the line I was looking for to get to. You have a Nobel Prize winning physicist, okay, called this gentleman one of the handful of absolute outstanding students that he's taught in 30 years. Man, you know, if you're separating yourself at MIT, folks, under Nobel Prize winning physicists over a 30-year period, and they can even remember you that you're having conversations, but it doesn't take being that brilliant sometimes to question it. So it's interesting how it comes. Question the norm sometimes. You see it happen occasionally, and it's just remarkable when simple things like that. So you're going to see it happen everywhere, and it's just a slight bulge in where that is. But think about that when you go forward, right, in terms of question where it goes. Always find that stuff. All right, what else we got going on? Yeah, we talked about taxes. Yeah, when you talk about tariffs, this one's interesting. So Walmart, they're keeping the pressure on, but how's it going to play out? They're trying to push their Chinese suppliers to cut the prices. What I find myself wondering here, folks, okay? They want suppliers to cut prices by as much as 10% for each round of tariffs. There's not a lot of margin room. So you're going to see them apply the pressure. And those suppliers, you know, the last thing you want is to lose a Walmart contract, I'm sure. But if the margins were there, okay, these companies are the biggest companies in the world because they do so well when it comes to getting everything you can out of margins. Okay, Walmart is not the company they are because they were allowing Chinese companies, not allowing, right? That they were allowing Chinese companies to make more money. If all these Chinese companies had all this margin room for profit, you would have seen them competing against each other more. There is very little room for a company like Walmart from margin compressions when their business is the cheapest prices already. Yeah. Some Chinese manufacturers are finding it difficult to meet Walmart's demands to cut prices by as much as 10% for each round of tariffs. The nature and stage of the price negotiations vary by suppliers. Well, that'll matter as well. But yeah, it's not going to be that simple. And listen, that's going to be the game. All right. And if anybody can do it, Walmart can do it. But even them, as if it was that simple, they would already be doing it to a certain degree. That's what I find myself saying. We jump over to Tesla shares. They catch a bid, only down about 2.9% on their missed deliveries. We'll see where we go from there. We jump over to Walmart. Speaking of, down about 0.4%, but Walmart, a little safe haven, in this market. You know, you're looking for a place to hide. You're looking for some equities. You don't want the volatility going on everywhere else in tech stocks. Walmart seems like a good spot to hide right now with the action you've got in the last couple days. Jump over to retailers. Target, positive by about 0.3% today. Kohl's, chopping around near the lows. Positive, but Kohl's, yeah, stay away from Kohl's, man. So, you look at that weekly chart, no end in sight. The flip side of that, TJX. Look at this equity, man. Ugh. Look at this equity. Up another 0.4% today for TJX, trading higher. Yeah, on a weekly basis, man. This thing has been an uptrend channel going on almost 3 straight years, folks. You can make the case that uptrend channel almost started in May. Yeah, 3 years of an uptrend channel on TJX. Whew, you talk about it. All right, S&P's catching a bit on the open. We're still negative by about 20 points, but we got an acceleration to the upside on this open, folks. We're coming back. One more segment. Don't go away, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. So as they're buying equities right now, they're selling off the price of the 10-year, and that's popping yields a bit. We're back to 4.14%, so we have yields rising 2 basis points as we trade. You get the dollar sitting at 104, but as equities rise, you have a little bit of a sell-off in gold there. So interesting how they're trading you gold. Excuse me, briefly above 31.70, and we trade down about $15. We're at 31.53 right now. Excuse me, that coffee getting me this morning. S&P's off by 25 right now, trading at 56.49. So we talked about Tesla. Rivian out today as well. And yeah, Rivian down 5.8% right now. And interesting that they actually beat expectations, but you talk about a decline, man. Now, Rivian doesn't really have anything cheap. They only have their top-of-the-line car, which is beautiful, man. I see a lot of these vehicles out there, but you got a lot of beautiful vehicles you can buy for 90, 100 grand, folks. They're going to be coming out with their R2 next year, and that's the car that they really want to push out to the public. And yes, coming in 2026 at $45,000 a vehicle is what they talk about, okay? This is going to be trying their mainstream Rivian, okay, versus the one they have right now, which is the, R1 to a certain degree. And what are they selling for? Let's see where they put it up. Come on. Do they put a price on it? They probably don't. Yeah, they just, there we go. Yeah, look at these prices, man. From 76,000, from 83, from 106. The Quad is coming later, and then the R2 is the one they want to push out to the mainstream that's coming next year at 45,000. But look at these numbers. You talk about Tesla missing. They delivered 8,600 vehicles in the quarter, down from 13,500 a year earlier. So Tesla's got like a double whammy going on, okay? The whole EV industry is in trouble, and Tesla's in trouble within that industry. But hey, we'll see how we go. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Today's an important day. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman, he's in the den. He's growling and prowling. He's up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Live programming after that, folks. We got Steve Rhodes, Larry Pesavento, Jacob Shoup this afternoon. Have a great day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks so much.